Hello everybody, Drew here, tip of the minute flips, where I'm a stay-at-home dad and a part-time eBay reseller. And every 100 subscribers there's a giveaway. So if you're watching, make sure you subscribe so you have a chance to win. I have 10 orders going out today, plus 3 TCG player orders for a total of about $4 in profit. Not a ton of money, but it was not a lot of cards, so that's, I guess, the good part there. A little slower than the last sales day, but more money. So that's a plus, and I'm actually thankful it's not a ton more listings because one of them is going to take me a decent amount of time to pack up. I did have another Facebook Marketplace, local Facebook Marketplace. Whenever I say it, I guess I'll probably say it every time anyways, but I don't mean Facebook Marketplace as in the Facebook Marketplace. Not shipping it. I mean like my local buy, sell, trade sites. Why would I go outside to a different platform? I'm not into the cross-posting, the cross-listing, whatever you want to call it. I'm not going to start doing that anytime soon. I don't foresee me ever doing it. One of the reasons why I did branch out into listing Pokemon cards on TCG Player, which is now owned by eBay, so that's not really branching out, was because I did want to diversify somewhat into something else, you know, not have all my eggs in one basket, but that's not paying my bills, so I guess I really didn't diversify that much. But the thing that did sell on Marketplace, and I keep pointing because I accidentally forgot 6 of the books. I went to start working today and I was like, what are these? And I was like, oh yeah, these are the rest of the books that should have been in that box. It was actually a friend of mine who bought them, so no big deal. I messaged him and said, hey, sorry, I have 6 more of your books sitting here. I got $70. That is exactly how much money I would have made on eBay because they were $99.99 free shipping. Would have cost around $15 to ship them media mail, and also there would have been around $15 in fees, and I didn't have to do any work. So probably a little less than I would have made. Also, cash. I mean, come on, cash. Cash in my hand. Listed the 2 Wiis. Actually, the one that was in terrible condition totally worked, which that tends to be the thing with Wiis. They're pretty durable. Actually, most Nintendo products, super durable. But I made a bundle with the junkier looking one. It's like missing a couple of the doors. I made a smaller bundle, and then I made a larger bundle with all the games and a bunch of the add-on things, like those Nerf things, and put those both on local Marketplace. But I just saved the photos. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to let those marinate for, I don't know, probably through the weekend. Today is Friday. I'll let them go through the weekend. If there's no interest outside of the 2 scammers who tried to scam me with the exact same scam at the same time. It was like the same messages from 2 different fake accounts. Or the account's not fake, the people behind it are fake. And they were both using the same scam on 2 different listings I had, like word for word. It might even be automated, I don't know. But that's the other reason why I hate Marketplace. It's just full of scams. Full of scams. If they're not willing to deal in cash, it's most likely a scam. And I would take other means of payment, but you're going to do it in front of my face, not over the internet, so that you can go, oh no, I did a thing wrong, send me back, blah blah blah, whatever their scam plan is. But I listed both of those. Hopefully they are gone soon. I also took the GameCube listing I had on Facebook, stole the pictures back from that, put that on Marketplace. Surprised that didn't actually sell already. And then, like I had said before, another PS2, which, why did I sit it here? I've almost stepped on this about 100 times. I have somebody lined up to buy that one as soon as the cords get here, which I bought from the cheapest one, the cheapest reputable looking one, but I didn't notice that they were on vacation mode. So it doesn't even ship out till, actually it was supposed to ship out yesterday. I don't think it did. Let's go ahead and pull some orders. First thing going out, C3 is a pair of Corningware Sidekicks. And I keep walking to the wrong place because I think I know where everything is, instead of just listening to the words I'm saying. And for these 2 right here, which I said, the Sidekicks, the Grab-It Bowls, it's not a ton of money, but they sell. They sell over and over and over again. Super high sell-through rate if you price them right. Mine were on sale, promoted listing, and I sent out an offer, $11.99 plus shipping. I probably paid around 50 cents a piece. And that's less money than you will get or can get. Just, I've been a little more aggressive with my older listings. This one's a little interesting. It is Pat98, which is upstairs in the other box. So let me go get that.
One eternity later.
Crayon pumpkin, snowman, and flower costume pattern. And it's a little weird because it sounds like it's a drop shipper, which it might kind of be a drop shipper. Hi, I'm sending this to a client, so don't include blah, 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 you know, all the stuff they say for a drop shipper. Just seemed weird. For a client? Oh, you know what? If I had to guess, because of, which doesn't really matter, but because of the name of the person being an antique name, referring to them as a client, I was thinking more of like, I don't know what I was thinking, but it sounds like it's probably for an elderly person, maybe like an old folks home or something like that. So that actually totally makes sense now. Probably getting it for a gift for somebody in a retirement home or whatever. For that item, that's the important part too, $11 free shipping. I accepted an offer. Next up, here we go. It is, it doesn't have a location. It is the super duper double looper. Right here, the Magnum 440 cars, those aren't in there, which it had Lambos. It was very cool. I think I have those just with my other stuff, and I didn't bother to go get it. But the super duper double looper, cost of goods $0 because it was a Christmas present for me as a small child. $89.99 plus shipping. That's going to be, I say a pain, but it's just because now I ship mostly things that don't take a lot of effort. It's really not that bad. I don't want to like convey to people who haven't shipped something like this that it's going to be a nightmare. If you do it right, follow the steps, it's not so bad. I don't really have time to do my whole setup with like my chest cam and do a whole video with it, but I'll try to take pictures through the steps of boxing it up. I'll splice that in somewhere. It might be just at the very end of the video. It'll depend when I go to edit, but I'll try to take pictures through the steps. And basically what I'll do, I will find a box. This part is actually tip of the day. Tip of the day is to find how big of a box you need when resizing, measure all of the dimensions you want, and that total length will be this length times 2 will be your available square footage in your box. The available amount of cardboard you have will be whatever this dimension is times 2, or you can measure both sides if for some reason you think one side's a different size than the other, and then you will know if you have enough cardboard to cover the area that you want. But $89.99, I had it listed $99.99, and I sent out an offer to a couple potential buyers, and someone purchased it. Next up, creepy. Whew. A3 is a vintage ugly brat doll. Yeesh, get this thing out of my garage. I'm pretty sure this came with the big Barbie and book buy, and it's probably worth a little more if it wasn't in such rough condition, which it is, but just a creepy. I'm good. Get that out of here. I accepted an offer, $10 free shipping. It can go. I should have done the math to some degree with the Barbie and book buy. There's so many items that it's probably like the Mikhail mystery box, like less than $1 an item, because I paid for the books and the Barbies and all the other stuff that happened to be in those boxes. I paid $60 for all of it. And there was definitely more. No, I'm sorry. I paid $70 for all of it. Yes, because I had 3 boxes of toys and Barbies and dolls stuff, and then 1 box of books, and 20, 20, and 10, that equals 70. That math adds up. But I mean, just in the Barbies left, I have a good amount, 30 or something. And I've sold a ton of them. So like less than $1 an item. And then on top of that, like most of you have seen, all those right there, plus there's still more to go. I keep messing with my dad because when I bought it, he's like, oh, you paid too much. Okay, old man. Okay. Next up is Pat 51. 51. Here's a guess. 45. Not close. Well, I guess it's kind of close. 48. 49. Did I just have it in my hand and put it back? 51. Pat 51 is a McCall's 7908. For that one, $10 free shipping. I accepted an offer. Next up is D5. It's a Playboy purple fanny pack, which is pretty cool. And it's heavy duty. I mean, look at the clip on this thing. This is meant for, you know, jogging and whatnot. Pretty cool item. It's even padded. This is worth more than I got for it. This is one of the nicest fanny packs I've ever had my hands on. Countered an offer, $14.99 free shipping, and I think Jen bought that at like a Salvation Army. So you're talking somewhere between $2 and $5. So closer to the 2, great buy. Closer to the 5, okay buy. Actually close. If it's $5, bad buy. But for the little amount of effort it takes to pack, I'm okay with it. Next up, A1 is a pair of New Balance in brown. These are in great condition, super ugly though, and in a giant size. What size are these? Yeesh. Size 15. Woo! Some big boys. For those, I think I sent out an offer, or maybe I countered, but maybe it's full price. I really don't know. So $29, because it just seems cheap. That's why I'm saying that. $29.99 plus shipping. And those I got from my father. He had picked up a couple pairs of shoes at a garage sale. All of them were huge. Like those ones, like these boats right here, probably the same person. That would make sense. And I think it was like $3, $5 for the pair of them, something. It wasn't a ton of money, but $29.99, and those were listed 2 days ago and sold yesterday. Next up, another pair of shoes in the desk. Nike Vandal High. Hi, Blackbeard. You want to join for a second? That was a silent meow. Your mouth opened and no noise came out. What are you doing? You're dusty too. Clean yourself, old man. I thought I had a bit of an issue over here with my inventory. Some of these shoes are not listed because I looked, because I'm in the market to get a new pair of shoes pretty soon. So I was like, okay, it's a collection of 10.5s. Let me see if there's one that I like. And it is those ones. Good job, me. When I looked, I was like, oh, wow, I only have like 3 pairs of Nikes left from that whole thing. So what do I have over here? I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 pairs sitting here. I know these are listed because I considered taking these ones out. They're vented on the side and it's getting to be cold and I don't really want to. But these are around next spring. These are going to be mine. They are the like Space Jam edition. These ones were listed. Those ones down there were listed. And those right there were listed. So I think there is 1, 2, 3 or 4 of those pairs of shoes that may not even be listed in the store. That is terrible. If that's true, that's enough. Terrible if that's true, because the market on those shoes has crashed. Oh, great. I forgot about these ones. The box has a note in it, so hopefully they don't think that I think it's their birthday and I love them much, but whatever. Maybe it makes them smile. Who knows? It's not the box for the shoes anyways, so I don't think the box was in the listing. Blackbeard, stop being so aggressive. I will kick you out. It's unfortunate if they've been not listed because the market has dropped out on how much you can get for those higher end shoes. But good on the other end, because now I might have 3 or 4 pairs of shoes that are worth $50 to $100 and something. That will be what takes up the rest of my workday after I get this stuff packed up. For this pair, I think I sent out an offer, but they were also in that 20% sale. $71.99 plus eBay shipping because they go through authentication. And so they paid eBay some amount of money for the shipping, and I don't have to pay for the shipping or deal with the shipping. It's a good thing, bad thing. Good, because I can put this in like a 12 by 12 by 12 box with... Then don't stand under my feet and I won't step on you. With as much padding and packing material as I want. It can weigh a crazy amount of weight. None of that matters. I don't have to care about all that. Chuck it in any box it fits in. Good to go. I love him dearly, but when he wants something, he has the most aggressive meow and it doesn't stop. So he had to be removed. Next up, A2 is a vintage Ever-Ready flashlight. Right here. And this... I don't know. Probably in a box of junk. Probably didn't pay anything at all for it. Tested and works. $18.39 free shipping, and that was at 20% off. Also sold via promoted listing, which I did have somebody ask me about promoted. I do 2.1% across the board outside of very few things like this, which I know for a fact there's only at any given time about 4 or 5 listed, and the person looking for that item doesn't accidentally stumble across it. It's very expensive. They are looking for that item. I don't need to promote that, because even to give up 2% on something that's worth $900, that's too much money, especially something that's fairly rare. And I don't do it automatically. I list things. I have a pool of not promoted stuff. When that pool gets to the 150, 200 listings, I'll promote about 25. As soon as it bubbles back up to that certain number, I will do another 25. So on and so forth till probably the end of time, or until they increase that minimum rate, and then I'll go to whatever that happens to be. Well, the minimum is 2. I do 2.1 to put me above everyone else that just does 2. And I did 1.1 previously. I hate promoted so much. Here's why I have a problem with it. If promoted was proven to just generate more sales that wouldn't have happened already, I would say, okay, of course we want that. But it's not. It's just generating more sales for the people willing to do it, and always generating more money for eBay. It's reducing the amount of sellers being shown to people. It reduces the deals shown to buyers, which is really crooked, because it'll only, when you search something and that say there's 1,000 of the same thing. I think I mentioned this the other day, but say you went to search these and there's 1,000 of them listed and it's an okay seller. It's not going to show you 1,000 listings. It's going to show you about 50 of them, and you'll have to click a separate button to show the rest of them. But those 50, I guarantee, are in that top because they're promoted. So it's not showing buyers the cheapest or even the best seller. It's not even showing you the one where, okay, this seller has proven you're going to have a great experience in your purchase. It's not even doing that. It's this seller is willing to send me, eBay, more money. I hate it so much. But everything is going up to infinity. Inflation, bleh. Money spending by the government, up forever. How could that ever go wrong? I'm in a mood this week. If you caught the live, I tried to keep it minimal, but I am scared every day for my children because the people in charge of the money system do not care, because they already have boatloads of money. So if they devalue how much the dollar is, they're like, oh, whatever, I still have more than I need. But you that don't have more than you need, all of your things cost more. Let me go back to doing other stuff before I go on a whole tangent. A2 is a Fire King Jadeite mug. Ugga mugga.
Ugga mugga.
I'm not a big Daniel Tiger fan. I think the show is pretty boring, but I'm not a child. But Thea really likes the books. I think it's just because he says ugga mugga. For this mug, I do like that, $31.99 free shipping. I got that mug, a saucer, I think also that bowl, or maybe I only got the bowl, but it was 3 or 4 Jadeite items, and another one was a Jadeite canister lid. I paid $3 for all of it, and I made now close to 100 off of that deal. I don't think it was over 100, but close to $100 from $3. Very, very cool. And actually it was funny. Not really funny, but interesting, however you want to put it. I went way out in the middle of nowhere. Like 15 minutes both directions, to go to one garage sale that had absolutely nothing. I would have made -$, for driving and wasting my time. But their neighbor across the street did the thing that everyone should do. If you see that your neighbors are preparing for a garage sale, have a garage sale, because then they do all the work of the sign and the advertising. And then when they go to that one, they're like, oh, wait, here's a garage sale too. It's so much easier that way. But that happened. Neighbor across the street. I ended up buying a ton of stuff, and now I've made close to $200 off the stuff I got at that sale, which was not my reason for going. So you never know where the scores will come from. Here's something. I don't know if this is everyone, or just a phenomenon that happens to me. I, you know, have my tape dispenser, of course, but I also, not to like plug something that I would like you to use my link for, but this is a game changer. The 2-inch tape that you already are using, they make a desktop style for this. This is awesome. If you want one of these, link in the description. I mean, it's amazing. I love it. When I got that, I was super pumped. I know some people only use this and not one of these. Not really why I turned the camera back on, but it seems like 99% of the time, if I run out of tape on one of them, I run out of tape on the other one, which this one's not out, but it's very, very close. They're used for different reasons at different times. And this one, when I use it, generally, I'm using a lot more tape, whereas this one, I use little bits here and there, but they always seem to run out in the same day. I'll be like, oh, okay, well, let me just finish up. I'll just start using this one. Never seems to fail that before the end of that day, I still end up getting through this one and having to change them both anyways. Is that just me? Everybody else? I don't know. All right, first off, you find the seam and you split the seam. And then next, the tape let loose, but I will put another piece there. 1 loop of small bubble around the whole thing. Will this protect from damage? No. And this was something that was hard for me to get used to, is you do have to have an assumed amount of responsibility on the carrier to not damage your packages. Because if not, in order to ship this and me to protect it where nothing could happen to it, or at least almost nothing outside of like running it over with a truck, the shipping would end up too expensive and it wouldn't be viable for you as a seller and it won't be viable for a buyer. It just doesn't work. So I put small bubble around here, a little extra padding on the corners to keep it from any dings. Also, this is not like a stereo unit where if it drops, it's going to break anything. Some actual damage would have to happen to the box in order for something to happen to the contents in the box. And so this is mostly a vapor barrier, but also, again, like I said, to protect the corners, because the box itself is a collector's item. So you want to protect the corners a little bit. You could, instead of this, you could take pieces of cardboard and fold them around the edges, which if I have extra space, I might also do that and create bumpers for the corners. Now, I lucked out and found a box that's almost perfect. It's just too wide. Actually, it is basically perfect. I didn't need to do what I just did. I could have probably finagled the box itself without doing this, but this is good information and it'll bring my shipping costs down, so I want to do it anyways. Corrugated cardboard, and the reason it is corrugated is because it has these little corrugations. I don't know if that's the proper term, but it makes it very easy when you're resizing in this direction to fold and make new seams at each one of these little corrugations. I don't know what it would be called, but at each one of these, it makes it very simple. So I will start at the side. I'm getting an echo off this heater over here. Start at the side that already has a seam, and then I will fold it at the seams where I need to properly size it to the box. And I may cut off the extra, also may just wrap it around again to give it some extra strength. I will decide that in a second. A second person is always best, but if you don't have a second person, which most of us don't, at least not when we're trying to get work done, have a flat surface to hold boxes up against when you're resizing them, the large ones. And you'll see that my box, it's hard to hold and record, but if I could show you this side, I did end up just folding that flap over. I put a little bit of tape on there that's not holding, but it's just to hold it till I do the next step. And what I will do in each corner, I will cut up from where the tab normally is in each corner and create a new box. And that's basically it. It's not fun. It's not super difficult. It's very sweaty work. The bigger the box, the more challenging, because you know, there's a lot of angles you're trying to keep straight that there's no reason for them to stay straight. So let me go ahead and cut those, and I'll form one end of the box so I can show you that, and then I'll show you the finished product. And one more thing, depending on the size of the box and how much extra cardboard you end up with during this step, because you'll see I did cut up each side, fold down the new tabs, you might end up with cardboard you don't need. Like this extra tab that ends up here, I'll cut that off. This extra tab right here, I will cut off. And then, of course, this tab is now wider than the box itself. So you will have to trim both sides off a little bit, or trim one side off and then the other one you could roll over the entire box. But depending on what you're shipping, that can change. And also that will add bulk to the size of the package. So I will not be doing that. So let me go ahead and trim off these pieces and tape up that bottom. And as you see, the box is a little out of square. It's really difficult to do, like I said, unless you have a second set of hands. Then I could make this thing look beautiful. I could make it look like a box that was purchased to fit this item. Then you'll see on this side, now that I have it in, the tabs, the original tab length, is still pretty far away from the box itself. So I will actually lower this down even further to make this box as small as possible, which I said when I listed it, I measured it that I was going to go through this process. Everything I packed up earlier, which is this whole bag of stuff and that box there, I ended up using one of my good boxes for the shoes because I didn't have another one. All of that took a fraction of the time it will take the box this up. Even though this is a $90 item, is it worth it? Unless you got it for free or very cheap, because I also had to take it all out and inventory it, which I ended up not inventorying, but if you were going to, all those, take the pictures. I had to relocate it from a table to in here, rebox it, all that kind of stuff takes up time, and every amount of time you use subtracts from the profits. Even though it doesn't show up in a line item on your sales numbers, you need to be aware of it, because all of this time I've spent on this, I could have, even though I didn't have more stuff to pack up, I could have packed up another 10 items. I could have listed another 5 items. Just be aware of it. As you see, just hacking and chopping, you know, stuff that's unnecessary, extra tabs. That stuff will be pretty obvious to you. And then this is basically the finished product. Next step after this, tape the hell out of it. Tape it as much, wrap the whole thing in tape. Tape is cheap. Tape, 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 tape. Tape every seam, tape every corner, tape it up really good. Because the box isn't built to be in this shape. It's fighting itself. You probably can't hear it, but I can hear the tape popping off right now. It does not want to be in this shape. I am forcing it to be in this shape. It's not beautiful.
But yeah, that's it.
Gorgeous!
If I wanted to put in more time, effort, or if I had a second pair of hands, I honestly could have made this look like a box you bought. So if you wanted to take that extra time and that extra effort, you can make it nice. When you go to make a fold, score the line first. Handy tool like this, a box resizer can be helpful, but on these big jobs like this, you almost don't have to. If you're just trying to be quick or you don't have a box resizer, what I like to use is a utility knife. Don't pull the knife out, turn it backwards and run it along like this. It won't be a straight line. That's how you end up with stuff like this, but it works on the fly and gets the job done. Tape this up and see what the damage was for shipping if I was even close to what I had estimated. Also, the reason I even have a 3-inch tape gun, as well as my 2-inch, but the reason I have a 3-inch tape gun, and I have 3-inch tape, is because I used to do this very often. If you plan on doing something like this, 3-inch tape is awesome. It saves you time, because you have to do, if you're doing loops of tape or cross, you just have to do it less times. Also, link in the description for any of the things I use. So my original dimensions that I'd put in the listing were 29-19-6, and this box is 30-26. So I was off by 1 inch in both dimensions. If I would have tried harder, I could have got it easily under that. I don't want to say easily. I would have been actually a lot more work. It wasn't worth the time and effort. Problem, I almost was over the poundage because I'd put in 9.5 pounds. It ended up being 9 pounds, 14 ounces. So that was very close to going over. Again, if I would have made it the right size, it wouldn't have been a problem. And I could have, but I don't care. The time and effort, I'm not doing it again, that's for sure. And then one last tip, when you are measuring your box, once it's done, make sure you measure all the spots, all over the place, and use your longest dimensions, because you will end up with, like, this side will be 19 and then this side will be 20. You have to use the 20. Over here it's under 5 inches. Right here it's almost 6 inches, so I have to use 6 inches. So use the longest dimensions on the box so that you don't get an upcharge, because you don't get a discount on the upcharges either. So that's the other big problem when you do get an upcharge from FedEx or UPS or USPS is you're not getting your eBay discount on that part. So it really hits you hard, and those are pretty big shockers sometimes. Those little bits can add up to a lot of dollars. So I hope that was helpful. I do have a video that's a lot more in depth, and it's a lot shorter, where I pack up a TV stereo receiver, something like that. I have a couple of them. I'll link them both at the end of this video if you want a little more in-depth or another tutorial. One of them's actually edited pretty good, so if you want to use that instead going forward, it's your best choice. Well, that's gonna be all for this one. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, give it a thumbs up. If you didn't, go ahead and give it a thumbs down. Subscribe, share, and be good to each other. Just really neat. Hey, little Pete. Do they ever really fix things? I have no idea what this is. What do I care? Let go. I'm good at this.